Hi guys, this is my presentation over sports and philosophies of the Middle Ages. First, a little general history. The Middle Ages began around 900 AD until the 14th century, also known as the Italian Renaissance, which most people know as the medieval period. That means knights, castles, princesses, ogres, dragons, all that cool stuff. So a little bit about the philosophy of the time. They didn't have a bunch of access to literary sources, and they were highly influenced by Plato and Aristotle. They studied a lot of the same things that Christianity did, such as existence of the soul, personification, and belief in God. Developed philosophical proofs to support theology, which means that they try to combine philosophy and theology to make it all make sense. Their philosophy of the body. They had the biblical Jesus, which is perfection in mind, body, and soul. God created man, which implied that man was good. They had a debate over Jesus' body, which caused splits in Christianity. And then ontology became confused and led to the creation of monks. Then we had the plague hit, which was seen as a sign from God that humans were bad and that the body was a messenger of death, needed to be taken care of. That obviously killed millions, we all know that. A little bit about the sports of the time. They were only allowed to play sports after church on Sundays. They took their religion very seriously. The most common one that was played by peasants was a game called Sol. It was similar to soccer. It played with any ball and whatever they could use to make 2 goals out of. They also played early versions of hockey, baseball, and bowling. Horse racing started to become popular in the noble communities, and English football also began to grow in those elite communities. A really popular thing in medieval times was the tournaments. This is what most people remember when they think of sports in this time. Obviously in this picture they're doing the joust. We'll watch a video of a melee later. They also competed in sword fighting and archery. A little bit about the melee. It was part of a tournament, obviously. It was only competed in by elite nobles. It was usually up to 100 people. It was typically 2 teams, and it's just a free-for-all. You could put as many people against one person as they wanted. They used blunted weapons, so, get a little bent or bruised, but never bloodied or broken, probably. No one died. And then we have this little YouTube video I will show you guys, if I can get to it. It's just a good example of what a melee used to look like. There are actually world championships for this now. This is, I believe, the US and Poland. You can see they're all decked out in their armor, and they have the blunted weapons and swords, axes, all sorts of things.
Still, nobody wants to commit. Nobody wants to turn their back to anybody because it is perfectly legal to run into somebody and knock them down from behind. Poland is pressing
I don't know if you caught that, but he said it's perfectly legal to tackle somebody even if they're running away. You can just run into them and take them out.
Damian DeGrazia of the American team, who has a tendency to run around and hit people like an arrow. And now we're underway. On the Eastern Front, there is a lot of banging. There is some holding of the line on the Eastern Front. The center is still staying steady. The center is still steady. I don't know what happened to La Flecha, but the United States is beginning to fight back now. Their backs are to the wall, and there's a big pile of bodies against the north wall.
As you can see, it gets pretty intense. In these events, whenever you get knocked down, typically you're not allowed to get back up, and it eventually works its way down to the last two, or they'll do rounds. You can see he's getting hit in the head there pretty hard. It's pretty brutal. So that is how things used to be. So we'll talk about how to turn it into a modern day game for our PE classrooms. So you can do it in multiple rounds. You can split them up into even teams and just use 2 different color pool noodles. Think of it kind of like a game of tag. You'll be on opposite sides of the gym or the field. And when a player gets tagged by another player with the opposite color noodle, they're going to run in and trade that noodle for the same color of which they were tagged by. Then they will join that team. The game is won whenever everyone has the same color noodle or based off of the majority when time expires. So if you have 2 teams of 5, and at the end of the game, you have 6 blue noodles and 4 red noodles, blue wins. And that is all I have for you guys. Thank you.